This episode of Fluid Power Forum is sponsored by IFP Motion Solutions Incorporated, the leader at engineering electronics into fluid power distribution. IFP spans the 13 central states from Minnesota to Texas. For more information, visit ifpusa.com. Welcome to Fluid Power Forum, a podcast of the National Fluid Power Association. I'm your host, Eric Lanke, and it's my job to interview interesting people who are moving fluid power technology forward. If you'd like to be part of our show, you can follow us on LinkedIn. We're there at the National Fluid Power Association. And make sure to share those interesting and innovative uses of fluid power with our hashtag #OnlyFluidPowerCan. If you see an interesting application of fluid power and you want to learn more about it, you can share it on social media with our hashtag #OnlyFluidPowerCan. And you just might hear it discussed on a future episode of Fluid Power Forum. Also, please subscribe to the show. You'll find us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on all the other popular podcatching services. Wherever you find us, subscribe to the show and then give us a quick rating. Those ratings really do help promote the show and allow more and more of our friends in the industry to join in on these important conversations. On today's show, my guest is David Lundquist, the Global Product Manager at Hydraulic Technologies. Originally founded as a small tool company in 1925, a century of innovations and partnerships have led them to their status today as a global leader in high-pressure, heavy-load hydraulic systems. We invited David into the forum today to talk a bit more about the nature and challenges of his work, some areas of innovation, and some very impressive achievements. So, David, welcome to Fluid Power Forum.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I look forward to sharing how our hydraulic equipment helps solve challenges across the industries we serve.
That's great. We're excited to have you and to learn more about that. You know, I always say when people ask me about hydraulics that if you want to move something heavy with precision, you have to use hydraulics to do that. And I think that's right in your wheelhouse, if I understand where you guys are coming from, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You wouldn't think that you would be able to lift heavy objects with just some fluid, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's like Pascal's law. I mean, it's really simple. We're moving really heavy object with really small pumps, and it's pretty amazing what we do.
It's really the sweet spot. But tell our listeners a little bit more about yourself and your background. I did a little bit of an introduction at the very beginning, but tell our listeners more about you. How did you find yourself working at Hydraulic Technologies?
Yeah, so I hold a marketing degree, which is kind of amazing. Just usually like an engineering environment, but the marketing degree and an MBA, and I've spent most of my career promoting innovative products and services.
Interesting.
So that same focus continues at Hydraulic Technologies. So as a global product manager, I joined HT about 5 years ago, working to understand and develop equipment that makes heavy lift projects safer and easier for both the object being positioned, which is important,
Yeah.
and the teams that are involved. So, I mean, we don't want to break projects or break objects that are being lifted. And obviously, we really care about the teams and the safety and getting those teams away from the object as well when you're doing some of these really large projects.
You're one of the few non-engineers that we've spoken to on the podcast. So
I know everyone's surprised that I'm not an engineer because I work daily with engineering in the engineering team. So I live and breathe it. But I mean, I probably could be. I just have to get the degree to make it happen. When I say I'm marketing, it's like I'm the enemy.
Yeah, no, really. Some of my best friends are engineers, so it's a welcome change. I myself am also not an engineer, so. I guess we probably know just enough to be dangerous when it comes to hydraulic technology. So,
absolutely.
But tell us more about your company. So, Hydraulic Technologies as a business, how would you describe it, and what does it do?
Okay, kind of like you alluded to, the years we've been out there. So, with more than 100 years of the industry experience, Hydraulic Technologies is home to many respected brands. So, including Power Team, which is the main one we're talking about today, and then Bolting Systems, Stone, Rail Systems, Posi-Lock, Hydroslide, and the High-Tech Work Holding. So through the Power Team brand, we're a global manufacturer of high pressure hydraulic pumps, tools,
Okay.
serving markets around the world. So we offer more than 5,000 SKUs supporting a wide range of industries, including construction, foundation, aerospace, mining, infrastructure, transportation, rail, shipping, and power generation, covering oil and gas, wind energy, solar, and hydropower. So our core products include 10,000 PSI hydraulic pumps, ranging from lightweight cordless units to high flow multi-stage systems powered by electric, air, or petroleum-driven motors.
Mm.
So we also provide a comprehensive line of hydraulic cylinders in virtually every stroke length or tonnage, so available in both steel and aluminum. So in addition to pumps and cylinders, Power Team offers a full portfolio of hydraulic tools, valve packages, and essential accessories such as hoses, coupler, and hydraulic oils. I mean, basically everything to support the hydraulic industry.
Yeah.
So you go out to our website, pull down our 300-page catalog, and it's pretty impressive, all the products that we have to support the markets we serve.
And are you working with other component suppliers to supply all of that, or are you making all of that equipment yourself?
So the majority of it's made in Rockford, Illinois. So
Okay.
we have a couple manufacturing locations around the globe, but right there in Rockford, Illinois. So basically next to, right outside Chicago and next to the Wisconsin border. So that's where we manufacture most of our products. So it's pretty impressive that, we have that level of support coming out of the United States.
Yeah. Well, Rockford's not too far away from where NFPA is headquartered in Milwaukee. It sounds like I need to come down there and pay you guys a visit sometime. It'd be interesting to see that operation.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a simulated bridge out back that weighs about 100 tons that I'll let you play with.
Oh my gosh.
We get to lift some heavy things, and for me, this is like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of toys I get to play with and a lot of things I get to lift and some of the amazing projects I'm involved in as well.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. And that's what we want to talk about as well on the show today. Your company, as you said, is involved at the very kind of upper end of what hydraulics is capable of. The fine control of very heavy objects, heavy loads, if you will. Why is that such a challenge? I mean, maybe we can start there. Not everybody does that kind of work. So what's unique about those kinds of environments?
Yeah, so I mean, synchronous, control lifting, that's really where, we've been living our lives lately.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this is absolutely one of my favorite topics. I mean, I love this because we get to be involved in, some major projects. So, this involves our equipment being used in large, high profile projects or applications that demand extreme accuracy during position. So first, I want to define what we call synchronous.
Okay.
So we define it as motion control as a synchronous movement of high pressure hydraulic cylinders within a 1 millimeter tolerance using position feedback and a logic controller. So it's basically closed loop.
Mm-hmm.
So why is this important? So simply put, synchronous positioning minimizes the stress of an object during movement, reducing the risk and improving overall safety. So safety for the object being lifted and the people around it as well. So there's a lot of trend towards safety, technology. Obviously, with the younger generation coming up, they're born with a cell phone in their hand. So this is just natural for us. So this is a natural innovation for us to go that direction.
Mm-hmm.
So we began manufacturing synchronous hydraulic equipment more than 15 years ago with our MCS system. So this technology has become the industry standard, highly accurate, expandable up to 128 lift points, and typically customizable to fit nearly any project. However, traditional systems also present opportunities for improvement, particularly in portability, cordless operation, and overall cost. So to build on this foundation, we recently launched our next generation of motion control equipment, eSync. So eSync is a lightweight, two-person carry modular synchronous lifting system. It delivers the same level of accuracy as MCS while breaking down to easy transportable components, so you can carry it to the job site.
Interesting.
So the system, so the system is modular, and that it can also connect to nearly any hydraulic pump. So we know that a lot of our customers have established equipment. They have inventory of stuff. So we gave them the capability to connect it to what they have in the current inventory, which is huge.
Yeah.
So this also comes in a corded and cordless configuration. So with the cordless option, it offers a major advantage. So no generator required. And then the battery with it is powered to virtually lift about any load. So where most of the draw comes from our battery is in the pump element itself. And that lasts usually about 20 minutes to 30 minutes.
Wow.
So when we calculate like a lot of projects we've been involved with, let's say like bridge bearing replacement,
Yeah.
that's usually about a 3 to 7 minute lift. So it's really amazing that you can lift that type of object with a small battery. So it's just crazy of the technology that's out there.
Can you give us a sense? You said like 2 people can carry it. Like how big are we talking about this portable unit that you're describing? Like what's the dimensions on it overall?
So unfortunately, I know all the dimensions, so I'm going to talk in inches and specifics. So sometimes I get a little crazy
We'll
with
try to
that.
visualize
But
them in our head. Go ahead. Right. I'm
yeah,
just
so
trying to
yeah,
get a
so
sense. Yeah.
yeah, so it's like a square 27 inches. So 27 by 27 by 27. And this
Okay.
is essentially the dimensions. And there's 3 sections of that. And so the pump element, which majority of the work's being done, that's where the high pressure oil is compressed.
Right.
That weighs about 130 pounds. So it has what we called our U cage that goes around the pump element. Basically, 2 operators grab it from each side, set the pump down first, and then they'll set the brains of the unit, which we call our eSync, and that's where all the valving and all the technology is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the center section. That also weighs about 130 pounds. And on top of that, we have our storage area, which we call our storage totes. So that's where you'd store your cables, your sensors, or any extra batteries.
So it has to
So no,
it has to attach to some sort of actuation device then that's already present, or
yeah, that's the eSync itself.
okay.
So that's where all the brains happen. That's where all the brains and the valving. So basically, you're sending high pressure hydraulic oil from the pump to the eSync, and then the eSync tells the oil basically what to do. What are we going to do next? Okay, we're going to move oil out to this cylinder based on this closed loop feedback from our sensors,
Mm-hmm.
and say, okay, we want to lift this object. Let's just say it's 1,000 tons or whatever. Tonnage really isn't important because it can lift anything based on cylinder size. So when we talk about 1 ton up to 1,000,000 tons, it can do it based on what cylinders you have. So
Right.
I mean, it goes back to Pascal's law: the larger the diameter of your cylinder, the more tonnage. So it's a really simple calculation.
Right.
But eSync says, okay, send a little bit of oil to this cylinder, send it to this cylinder. So it balances out this lift to a level lift within a 1 millimeter tolerance between points. So you can lift an object synchronously up to basically whatever your cylinder stroke is, and then you do your cribbing and then go back and forth. So I'm going to be talking about a project that we had that was really an amazing lift of the distance. So I'm looking forward to sharing that as well.
Yeah.
But essentially, that's what our equipment does, and it calculates that. And let's just say for some reason someone trips over one of your sensors, or they unplug the unit. So the unit recognizes that and locks everything down for safety reason. It stops the lift. You fix whatever problem that you had. It's usually human error, and then you restart the lift from that point.
Okay, great. I mean, I guess one of the things that I'm either intrigued and or confused by is the portability of the unit itself, right? So this is not something that's installed permanently. You bring it to the job site or whatever it is, and then you connect it to the existing hydraulic actuations that's already there, or how would maybe give me an example of how you use it in the field? That would be interesting to hear.
Yeah, so let's just say bridge bearing replacement, and that's one of the most common things that happens out there in the industry with the DOT.
Yeah.
So a lot of bridge. So sometimes when you're driving over a bridge and you see construction workers, that bridge is actually up in the air. It might be up in the air half an inch or something like that.
Right.
It's usually about that requirement for a bridge bearing replacement job. So, but you need to synchronously lift a bridge,
Okay.
so you're not adding additional forces. Let's just say that you're only lifting a corner of the bridge at a time using an outdated hydraulic system. You're adding a lot of unwanted stress to your object as you're lifting it, because let's just say, from its level point, it wants to stay there. That's where it likes to be. That's where it's happy.
Yeah.
When you do a sync lift, it simulates it. It's still in that position. So when you're synchronously lifting an object, it reduces the stress of lifting the object. Compared to other type of hydraulic systems. So it does all the calculations for you. You basically preload. So going back to your start of your question.
Yeah.
So no hydraulics exist with those bridge bearing replacements. You have to bring all that to the job site. So you're going to need to bring your hydraulic cylinders. So based on your tonnage, so obviously with, civil engineering, they're going to calculate the tonnage of the bridge and say, okay, to lift this bridge, it's going to require 100-ton cylinders or whatever. And you need to get those bridge, those cylinders to fit. So there's going to be a collapse heights, calculations. So there's a lot of calculations that go into the size and the spec of your cylinder first.
Sure.
And so your team would then set those cylinders, and that's where all the power is to do your lifting. So based on tonnage, and then you're going to connect your hydraulic hoses, and then all of that is going to go back to the eSync, where you're going to connect up to eSync. So when we talk about porting the eSync compared to like an MCS system, so MCS system usually weighs about 2,000 to 3,000 pounds, depending on how many points, how much oil. But with the eSync, we just talked about it, breaks down to about 130-pound sections.
Yeah.
So you would carry this synchronous system down the embankment under the bridge, which is majority of where all your lifts are being done. So you set your equipment down there. So let's just say it's an 8-point lift. The eSync is based on a 4-point platform. So you'd connect 2 eSyncs together. So essentially you can connect 16 eSyncs together to create a 64-point lift if you wanted to.
Right.
But let's just say that it's an 8-point lift, just for simplicity. You'd bring down 2 eSyncs, you'd connect those together, you'd hook those up to your hydraulic cylinders through your hoses, then you'd run your sensors, and this is what I'm talking about, the closed loop feedback. So it's position section or sensors that go out to your point that says, okay, this is how high we are now, and we're going to monitor that. And those sensors are way more accurate than our hydraulic equipment can deliver. So, I mean, these are like micron accurate sensors that
Right.
we use. But we advertise the equipment as a millimeter accuracy, and it really does a little bit better than that based on your combination of tonnage, your cylinders being used, and your pump being used. So if you're using a very large pump, high flowing pump with a very small cylinder, your speed is going to go up, but your accuracy is going to go down. But there's a way to overcome that as well. But we've achieved about a 0.1 millimeter tolerance between point based on a way you set things up. So it can achieve more if need be. But we advertise as a 1 millimeter. That's usually enough for just about any project
Sure.
out there.
Yeah.
And when DOTs are putting out for bid, they usually advertise it as that. They request that as well. So it's usually within a 1 millimeter to maybe up to like an 1/8 of an inch accuracy between points is kind of usually the conversations that are happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're bringing out the full hydraulic system. So
Got it.
if you can carry that and you don't need like cranes to position your equipment, because like with an MCS system, you would need a crane to actually lift,
Yeah.
the equipment over the side of the bridge to place it under the bridge. There's additional expenses around that. And we recognize that. We're like, how can we take this technology, make it more portable, and then also look at it as a battery or a cordless option. And so that eliminates that whole generator, eliminates a lot of noise. We recognize, like with these DOT projects, lifting up to a 1 inch, it's really like a 3-minute lift.
Yeah.
Once you have everything set up and you hit the go button. And so for a battery that lasts, about a half an hour in our pump, that's more than enough. We could lift multiple bridges. And the battery in the eSync itself, that's where all the valving and all the calculations are done through the logic controller. That lasts like 24 hours with our battery.
Right.
So we have plenty of battery power to lift some really heavy objects a really long way.
We'll continue with the show in just a moment, but first let me share some exciting news about our Fluid Power Forum podcast. We're launching Fluid Power Forum Plus, a premium listener membership offering exclusive content and special event opportunities for our most dedicated listeners. When you sign up for free on the NFPA website, you'll be able to unlock exclusive episodes, live recordings, transcripts, and invitations to private networking events, each offering even greater insights into interesting and innovative applications of fluid power technology. The first of our special events is now being planned for the NFPA Technology Conference being held at the ConExpo ConAg trade show in March of 2026. Fluid Power Forum Plus members will receive discounted registration for the conference, plus an exclusive invitation to attend our live taping of the podcast there, and a members-only networking reception following that taping. This will be a huge opportunity to gain insights into the innovations happening in fluid power technology and to meet up with fellow listeners and build your network. And that's just the start. More exclusive benefits will be announced soon. To register, head over to nfpa.com/plus. That's nfpa.com/plus. Is that a thing that, from an innovation perspective, has been accelerating? In terms of its ability to connect the hydraulic system to battery power. It sounds like that length of battery life is unique to me, at least. Is that not true, or what's the curve on that been like these days?
Yeah, so battery's been around hydraulics for, quite a few years now. So, I mean, we have some lighter weight, handheld, battery powered,
Yeah.
but obviously taking that technology to the next level. So, I mean, there's some applications that are a must for battery or, that doesn't have fumes. So there's a couple projects
Right.
that come to mind. So if you're doing a bridge lift, on the rail, miles away from, a power source, you'd obviously have to bring out a generator and hook all that up. You're going to have to bring some sort of ATV or truck out there, to supply all that and carry all that. To be able to, two-man carry the eSync in the back of your vehicle with just battery. I mean, I've heard them where they bring them out there with ATVs and they go set up this and they do the battery lift, and you're lifting, rail bridges up a couple inches to do some maintenance on it.
Yeah.
So for those type of remote applications, they just love it.
Yeah.
And there's other requirements. So let's just say that you're down in a mine where you can't have any fumes. Well, guess what? There goes your generator, or you have to run really long cords, and then all the efficiency and that comes into concern and play. But to have that battery technology, that's a no-brainer. So, I mean, there's other applications as well. Obviously, we have some customers that pair our battery eSync up with gas-powered pumps just because they're so used to the remote applications where they don't want to use a generator. They love the battery portion of it. And so you can mix and match eSync with your pump, our competitor's pump. Obviously, we promote our products first, but we know that that's not a one-size-fits-all. So we built a system to give all the power back to the user. We're like, however you want to use our equipment, we're going to allow it.
Yeah.
So that's a huge advantage. And then be able to mix and match cylinders as well. So it's not just a one size fits all. You can mix and match hydraulic cylinders. So you can use single acting, double acting, locking collar, just about anything out there and
Right.
about any brand. So obviously it's a 10,000 PSI. So, as long as you have safety in the mind that you're going to be using 10,000 PSI equipment, you're mostly good across the board.
So the bridge lifts that we've been talking about, I mean, that's moving something up and down, I'm assuming, right? But you can also go left and right? You can do lateral movement as well. Is that a different problem, or what does that environment look like?
Yep. So not only does our equipment raise and lower, which is obviously the standard, so it can also push and pull with the same level of precision. So we've used this capability to do tunnel boring machine by synchronously skidding them into place. And then additional applications include synchronous compression, such as compressing large heat exchangers during maintenance in major data centers. So obviously, as AI continues to grow, the demand for data centers increasing rapidly,
Right.
and making these type of precise control positioning applications more critical than ever. So there's a lot of applications out there that are doing that lateral movement or that push and pull as well. So, we recognize, where the need is, and we're giving the flexibility and the capability back to our users to just about do any project. So we look forward to the challenges coming our way and say, hey, how can we do this better than what we're doing it today? And we're going to actually spend some time and talk to them. And then if it makes sense for us to develop equipment, we're going to do it. So we know this is our industry. We want to be experts in this hydraulic equipment arena. This is what we do. So
Right.
we look for, and our ultimate goal is to make our customers' life easier. So to be able to do things safer, quicker, more efficient, all those things are important to us.
So I wanted to talk a little bit more about the electrification side of this, because it's such an important trend that we're seeing in so many other mobile equipment applications and hydraulic applications. it sounds like you're really fully absorbing, with the battery power, the electric power source in these hydraulic systems. I mean, we're not getting rid of the hydraulics for the actuation. That's the bread and butter of what you're doing. But can you talk a little bit more about? I mean, again, it's fully capable from an electric power source point of view, right?
Yeah. So as battery technology continues to evolve, our industry is evolving right along with it. So we offer a wide range of power sources, including gas, diesel, electric, air,
Okay.
and battery power solutions. And we closely follow advancements in cordless technology. So as batteries become smaller, lighter, and more powerful, pairing them with our hydraulic equipment becomes an easy and logical choice. So today we offer, battery powered pumps as well as our eSync lifting system we just talked about, both utilizing the latest cordless technology. So, I mean, imagine being able to lift a multi-million pound object using a compact handheld batteries paired with our equipment. It's truly remarkable
Yeah.
of what we're doing today. So, and then obviously from an industry standpoint, so this trend is a growing focus across the markets we serve as well. So we have long supported the development of wind energy through our bolting systems brand of products for torquing and tensioning. And now with solar is gaining significant momentum as well. So we have partnered with companies around the world that rely on our equipment to support the installation and ongoing maintenance of solar fields on a global scale. So not only are we using, that technology to make better products, but we're also supporting markets with our equipment that are going that route as well.
Right.
So we're not seeing this going away. We're just
Yeah.
seeing this constantly moving forward and faster and faster and faster. And, we really need to keep our eyes open on the technology being used because that's what our customers are demanding. It's just better materials, lighter, faster, quieter, less heat, all that sort of stuff.
Do you guys have any videos of your equipment in action on your website or in social media anywhere?
Yes. I know we have a lot of stills. We do have one of the topics I'm going to talk about it. So I don't want to break this yet, but out at a couple projects, we do have some really good videos that our marketing team was out there, and I was out there as well. So I want to talk about
All
those
right.
here in a minute. But yeah, we do have some good stuff out there,
Well,
and we know we have a lot of more good projects coming. Obviously, with marketing expansion, we're getting better and better with marketing. We do have some nice stills of everything, but as technology increases, us being able to really tell the story on our products and how our customers use it, that's where the light bulb comes on.
sure.
Oh, this is what you use this equipment for. When you look at our equipment, I've been to many trade shows. And we get customers that come up to our booth and say, that's a really nice piece of equipment. What does it do? So then you have to go in and tell the story, and then
Right.
the light bulb come on. Oh, I get it. That's what it's for.
Right.
And so, that video tells a great story as well. So yes, we do have some good footage on there, but obviously we want to expand to more and more and more
Well,
projects. It's going to make a lot of sense to explain to our customers, how to use what's the equipment for, and where we're taking our technology.
yeah. Well, whatever you can share. I mean, I'd love to see it, and I'm sure our listeners would too. We can put links in the show notes to the episode to help, give people. It's always best to see it, right, to understand really what you're looking at in terms of how the machine works.
Yep. Yeah. So we have a YouTube channel that does have some
Oh,
of those good
perfect.
videos on. Like I
Okay.
said, there's some pretty good projects out there, but we're on LinkedIn, and then we just fired up our TikTok channel.
Oh
So
my gosh.
we're gonna be doing more of that type of short clip stuff as well. So
Well,
with this social media, I'm not a younger person, so getting to more of this, type of technology, my daughter would probably be better at setting up our TikTok channel, but it's something that we're getting into, and we have some great marketing people to help support us with that as well.
well, great. Yeah. So whatever you've got, we'll put the links in the show notes and let people take a look at them. I think it'll be an important part to better understand exactly what the capabilities are. We need to wrap up pretty soon here, David, in terms of the length of the show. So why don't we go to some of those examples that you wanted to share, the actual new projects that you're doing?
Okay. Yeah. So I've had the opportunity to be involved in some, truly remarkable stuff.
Yeah.
So one of the most memorable was in Times Square, New York, where I spent about 4 months
Oh, wow.
helping synchronously position the Palace Theater 30 feet in the air within the TSX complex. So the building was built mostly of brick and construction in the early 1900s and weighed 17 million pounds.
Oh, wow.
So this project required the power team synchronous equipment, with 136 jacks, 150-ton cylinders, to safely and precisely complete the lift. So that was an amazing project. So if you know Times Square, right where the bleachers
been
are,
there. Yeah, I've been there. Yep.
that's the building right there.
Okay.
So we lifted a building inside of a building. So it was about a 4-month long project from start to finish. So we could have went a lot faster, but that's, what the project demanded, a little bit of stopping and starting and leaving and coming back. And but we had a lot of teams monitoring everything we did. And obviously that building had huge historical value. So if we broke it, we bought it, sort of scenario.
You got to take it home with you then too, I suppose, right? So
yeah, exactly, brick by brick. But yeah, it was pretty amazing. So obviously breaking it from the foundation, we had the New York news crew and a lot of investors there that day when we actually broke it from the foundation. So that was a lot of fun. So I mean, when we first got down there, we had the equipment in the basement, I guess we would call it, and we had some major I-beams coming where you'd have to duck your head, and I banged my helmet on it many times. But the time we lifted up the building, the full 30 feet, those braces were way up there. So it's this amazing feat of what we did just with that application. So then another standout project was out at Niagara Falls at the hydropower plant for rotor maintenance. So a synchronous system was required to tilt a 700-ton rotor with the accuracy measured in arc seconds across a 32-foot diameter. And then we had to separate the outer ring within 1/10 of a millimeter, lifting it 24 inches. So the skill of our team and the precision of our equipment made, this incredible level of accuracy. And it was just an amazing feat that we did. So, they basically took their gantry, lifted up, their turbine rotor combination, separated the rotor, and they had to do maintenance on it, and then brought it inside the facility, and we had to level it. So level it within a couple arc seconds, and then we had to do the synchronous separation. So we did some customization around our MCS equipment for that application as well. So I mean, that was a huge feat, and I absolutely love being in part of these projects. So, I mean, these major projects that really staples throughout the world. When you say Niagara Falls, you instantly know what it is. So it's amazing that we get to be a part of these, and I really appreciate our customers for getting us involved and trusting us with these large profile projects.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they're iconic, but they're the biggest things in the world, right? The things that you're, as we said at the very beginning, it's very big and it needs to move with a lot of precision, and that's exactly what you guys are working on. That's great.
Yeah, and I get to have a little bit of fun as well. I mean, when I was out at the New York projects in Times Square. So that's another time that I brought up that I had a marketing background, and those guys' jaws dropped. They're like, "You got to be kidding me. You're marketing and you're here supporting this?" And I'm like, "Yep, I'm the guy." So, I mean, we've also completed some remarkable projects in Asia and supported major construction mining initiatives in South America, and obviously carried out numerous bridge bearing replacement projects out in the United States. So this isn't going anywhere. It's constantly expanding.
Well, as you said, maybe we can wrap up on that final thought. Like, where do you see this going? I mean, it's not going to slow down, as you're saying, but are there new innovations that you expect to see in the next couple of years in this space?
Yeah, so I mean, that's part of my job is us obviously constantly talking to our customers and understanding their projects and their challenges. And so I'm leading our NPD within the company as well. Okay. So our new product development. So understanding what the next thing is, if it's another type of piece of equipment that's going to make our customers' lives easier, I want to understand what they're going through, what challenges, and then obviously develop equipment that's going to make their lives easier. So that's our focus here at Hydraulic Technologies and specifically Power Team. So, I mean, that's what I'm doing, and it's a lot of fun for me to do it. And, I'm looking forward to 2026, and, we got a lot of good conversations at work on new products, and, it's really a fun thing.
All right. Well, that is going to wrap things up for this episode of Fluid Power Forum. My thanks again to David Lundquist of Hydraulic Technologies, who has been my guest on this episode. As we discussed, if you want to connect with him, we're going to put a lot of links in the show notes, including links to his contact information and email. I'm sure he'd love to hear from anybody out there who wants to learn more about what he and his company does. Remember, if you like our podcast, and we hope you do, please follow us on LinkedIn. We're there at the National Fluid Power Association. And please keep sharing those interesting and innovative uses of fluid power on social media. with our hashtag #OnlyFluidPowerCan. It's a great way for you to tell us about the kind of topics you'd like to hear talked about on the show. Fluid Power Forum is a podcast of the National Fluid Power Association. I'm your host, Eric Lanke, reminding you to join us next time in the forum.